Hello, and welcome to Comic Story explores the conspiracy theory of Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. What really happened? What was the theories? And what is the craziest thing I've heard in this conspiracy? Do you want to know the truth? Do you want to go down a rabbit hole with me? Well, today we're going to be looking at what the internet was outraged about. And this time, it was like 20% warranted. Let's go into it. Okay, but I'm going to turn the lights on because it really makes her a bad, like... Oh, there we go. Yeah, that much better. Okay, cool. All right, welcome, guys. I'm Benny. I'm known as the Comicstorian, and I make these videos. And over the last 2 weeks, if you are a fan of what Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is going to be, then it's been a hell of a roller coaster trying to be on the internet. Today, we're going to be talking about the supposed leaks, the cleanup on the leaks, what the title actually means, and basically my opinion on everything that just happened with Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Due to the fact we're going to be discussing leaks that could potentially be true, if you want to go in clean slate to Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, this is your opportunity to leave so that you don't get things spoiled to you. Because what I want to do is discuss the leaks, how they were quickly disproven, and the follow-up leaks that seem to go in a different direction. But once again, if you don't want the game spoiled for you at all, then leave now. And I appreciate you jumping into the video. So, let's get into it. If you live under a rock, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is a video game featuring the Suicide Squad. As per the title, the assumption is that we're going to be killing the Justice League. No, I don't know if it's true or not, and I'll be getting into that very soon. The game looks to be a looter-shooter-based game where you're going to work with your teammates in a 4-player co-op game where the Suicide Squad each gets a form of guns, uses various abilities, and honestly, it reminded me of Avengers if done correctly, or Destiny, or Borderlands, or any kind of game like that. It's that bracket of game. I was excited about it the moment they announced it. If you don't know, I play games like Destiny, Borderlands, Outriders, Final Fantasy XIV. So a game that I can get on with my buddies and grind out loot, I'm excited for. I even enjoyed most of Avengers, okay? There's a lot to unpack with Avengers, but we're never going to bother. And my game of the year last year was Gotham Knights. Not because it was an incredible gameplay or that it beat out Spider-Man 2, but because I had a lot of fun playing with my buddies. And if it didn't come out in 2023, I don't know. I just remember enjoying it. There was an alpha test for Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, in which a lot of people got to jump in and play early levels of the game. Within that, people started posting on the internet that the gameplay was fun, they had a great time with it, the concept was cool, and the humor was great. The internet started to enjoy and like Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, even the people who were already against it due to the Arkham situation. Now, I want to comment on that real quick. This game is set in the Arkhamverse. When this game was announced, I made a statement which said, I don't think it is. I think it's going to be a name and name alone, and they're going to use the Arkhamverse as a way to sell the game. I don't think it's truly going to be a continuation of the Arkhamverse. I stand by that statement based on things that we've learned through these leaks and stuff like that. But that doesn't change the fact that it is in fact in the Arkhamverse. Due to the fact that it is in the Arkhamverse, a lot of Arkhamverse fans have freaked out about it and didn't want it to exist at all. But that's the stance on that. I don't think it should be in the Arkhamverse. I think it should stand on its own. But, I mean, I'm going to at least see what Rocksteady's going to do with the Arkhamverse. But I currently believe that it's just in the game, just as a way to get Arkhamverse fans to buy the game. That's it. That's how I look at it. But anyway, moving forward. The internet in general was excited for Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, and even some of those people who hated the idea of it being in the Arkhamverse were kind of converted. But that only lasted about a day. The internet then blew up. An internet Redditor, and I found information here, and I'm going to go into this, but in case I forget to cite the article that did a great job of compiling everything, it was on Xpooter. I've never heard of this website, and written by Miller Ross. Okay? But this isn't the first time that the information's here. He just did a great job of compiling everything into one location. So anyway, about a day or two after the alpha went out, it was data mined. Data mining is very common within the video game industry at this point. If you don't know what data mining is, it's a patch rolls out for a game like Destiny, Outriders, Final Fantasy XIV, and before the content is actually available to the public, somebody on the internet will take the files and they'll spend hours going through those files hoping to get spoilers for the content so that they can reveal it to the world. I personally have never understood the desire to go data mining into the content, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a very common thing and people love to do it, to be the guy that found out this information about the game. Well, at this point, a data miner went through the alpha files. We're going to go into the story of what actually happened apparently in a minute. He went through these files, or they went through these files. I don't know who actually did it, because that's part of the information that wasn't discovered. Somebody went through the files, found voice lines of the game. They then released a supposed entire plot line of the video game. The supposed release of these things showed every member of the Justice League being killed. The internet freaked out that we're actually going to kill the Justice League. Now, this was a surprise to me, because the name of the game is The Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. But I'll get more into that in a minute, okay? I assumed at all times we were going to kill the Justice League. Now, I didn't look into these rumors or these leaks at the time, because I was like, we're going to kill the Justice League. It's in the name of the game. I don't care. That's what the game's about. As long as the game is fun, I'm going to enjoy it. But people started to get really heated when the data mining had discovered that apparently Kevin Conroy's Batman was going to be shot by Harley Quinn in a disrespectful way, and that was going to be the end of Arkhamverse Batman. I had a discussion with a buddy who does a lot of these kinds of games, and he revealed this to me. That's how I discovered it. I actually didn't look for it online. He said, "Did you hear the leaks?" I said, "What's the big deal?" And he told me this. My initial reaction to this information was, well, it's an alternate universe. Arkhamverse is an Elseworlds. And in my opinion, Arkhamverse ended with Arkham Knight. So this didn't seem that big a deal to me. Plus, I even said to him, the name of the game is Kills the Justice League. His response was, yeah, but that's going to kill Batman in a very disrespectful way. After everything Batman did, he's going to be shot by Harley Quinn. And I'm like, well, where did you get this information? He's like, oh, yeah. People data mined the hell out of the alpha test, and it's all over the internet. I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, it's still just an Elseworlds. We have an entire Elseworlds known as Injustice, in which Superman gets very angry and kills people. I was sitting there and I had this argument with him. I'm like, well, do we know what actually happens in the game? And he goes, well, no, we have the leaks. And I said, what if I were to tell you there's a video game coming out where Lois Lane is going to be killed by the Joker and Superman's going to kill Shazam because he went insane? Would you immediately be mad at me or excited about that? And he's like, well, I would probably get angry with that information. I'm like, right, but in context, in Injustice, we thought it was cool. So my general stance overall, since discovering this information, was it might be disrespectful. It might be terrible. But until I see it myself, or the game is at least out and I can see the context behind this discovery, I'm going to reserve judgment. And that was the extent of where I left my deep dive into the leaks at the time. I tweeted out my opinion that basically this is an Elseworlds universe. I don't consider it personally a part of the Arkhamverse until I see how it's handled. And as far as I'm concerned, if they do kill the entire Justice League, it's in the name of the game. What were we expecting? Popular Elseworlds are Superman becoming a communist in Red Sun, Superman becoming an evil tyrant in Injustice, Batman becoming a vampire in Red Rain. Popular Elseworlds is the concept of your favorite superhero becoming evil and doing what they wouldn't expect to do. But the internet didn't like that. The internet freaked out, and this was the controversy behind Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. That the game was about killing the Justice League, that we're going to kill off the entire Justice League in disrespectful manners, but the most disrespectful of them all was going to be Harley Quinn shooting Batman. And to make matters worse, Kevin Conroy, greatest Batman voice actor in existence, passed away from a battle with cancer recently. And this was going to be his last portrayal as Batman. So people decided, how could Rocksteady do this to him? Well, let's start there. Kevin Conroy's last appearance before this was as evil Batman Beyond. So his last appearance would have been as evil Batman. If you're wondering where that was, do you not remember the CW crossover event in which Batwoman killed an evil Kevin Conroy as evil Batman? So that would have been the last appearance of Kevin Conroy without this game. Now, did Kevin Conroy sign up for this game knowing what Batman was going to be turned into? Of course. I guarantee you the man read the contract before agreeing to record the lines for this thing. He wanted to do this. And if you look back to his portrayal of evil Bruce Wayne back in the CW era, I actually have the article right here. Batman favorite Kevin Conroy had fun playing evil Bruce Wayne despite fan backlash. He was perfect Batman for 20-something years. If this is the direction the man wanted to take his career, which at this point, even then, he was probably battling with cancer. If this is what he wanted to do, then this is what he wanted to do. It's his final wishes. He didn't sign on to Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League having no idea what he was going to be doing with the role. So while I can't find an article, I almost swear I read an article that stated that he had recorded the last of the lines and that he was happy with it. Now, I can't find the article for Suicide Squad, but I did find the article for his portrayal in CW, which was to be his last portrayal until the Rocksteady game. So I'm not a fan of that argument that we should all hate Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League because of the portrayal of Kevin Conroy. I also saw a crazy theory going around from like 2 or 3 people that they probably AI voiced Kevin Conroy. Now, I don't know where you were, but there was an entire writer's strike about that and how that's not allowed without approval from the individual. So if Rocksteady and WB decided to AI voice generate Kevin Conroy, it was from his approval because the man was here for the entire creation of the game. And 2, why would they do that? They had Kevin Conroy there. Again, I don't know why. Like, it just feels like people want to hate Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, that they're just making up stuff. The entire writer's strike was all about AI taking over people's jobs. Like, I doubt WB during the writer's strike was Ninja gonna put out AI Kevin Conroy. Like, no, I don't see that happening at all. Okay, but again, this is just my opinions. I don't have hard facts. I didn't call Kevin Conroy's former agents to be like, what was the contract? What did he sign? None of that happened. Okay. But at this point, I was kind of writing it off. I'm like, I'm going to play Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Comicstorian Gaming, for everyone to see, playing with my buddies and jumping in with various members of the community. Small plug, go check out my Twitch channel. We stream every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then sometimes the weekend if the game is good. Anyway, but I'm going to be playing this game regardless. I'm excited for it. I found enjoyment in Avengers. It was like me, 3 streamers, and 5 other people that liked that game. So, of course I'm going to enjoy it. And I really enjoyed Gotham Knights for all of its own faults. Again, just like Avengers, that's a video in itself. Maybe we'll just make a video of like, here's the terrible video games. Here's the games that we loved that were terrible. Something like that. I don't know, we'll make another video. And I kind of wrote it off. I was like, I think people are being silly. We don't know the actual context for Harley Quinn killing Batman. I didn't know that there was an entire script out. I thought we had some voice lines. And I was like, and the name says Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen within the game. But then something else happened. Now, we were going to make this video, Dan and I, like a week ago. Okay? A week or 2 ago, right before Christmas, when these topics were hot button topics. And I killed the video. Because the video, I felt, was going to be disrespectful. Because we didn't have a lot of information, I was pretty much going to take the stance of, I don't agree with Rocksteady's decisions, but if this is the plot that is happening, I want to see it in context. And it was coming across as very disrespectful to Rocksteady. And I decided I didn't like that. If you don't know, I work with WB quite a bit on a lot of their projects, and I work with DC on a lot of their projects. I said that in previous videos. And what that basically means is, I like to keep those relationships. So unless I have a reason to actually be angry, I don't make clickbait videos for the sake of making a clickbait video. So when the video was made, I felt it was disrespectful to them, and I decided to not put the video out. And I am so glad I did. You see, 3 days after Dan and I were supposed to release that video discussing these leaks and my opinion of just wanting to see how it plays out and don't believe leaks and don't believe separate voice lines, my entire argument was, you guys are all basing your opinion to hate Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League on the equivalent of a wiki article, because no one has actually seen the game. So my argument was, you guys are using a wiki article to hate a game that isn't even out, and let's see it. The guy that leaked all that came out and said he lied. He felt bad for how far these leaks had gotten. And so now he was retracting the leaks. What I'm getting at is 90% of that wasn't true. You're probably looking at me like I'm crazy because this portion of the story has not made super rounds because the people that want to hate Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League don't care. They still want to hate the game and they're going to find something else to hate it for. So apparently the story was leaked to a Discord known to, and some of this information is from the article from the guy that compiled a lot of information I didn't have. This story was leaked to a Discord, which is known for Mortal Kombat 1 and WB leaks. It was only a couple of voice lines, such as Harley Quinn seemingly killing Batman. Seemingly. We're using everything at this point as seemingly. Then the guy gave these voice lines to another person and asked him to piece together a storyline based on these few voice lines that they had. So they made it all up. They made up all the connecting dialogue. They made up the connecting scenes. They threw in random stuff. Apparently, the original article had various lines, such as plainly stated omissions like, I don't know why. Something happens. Someone probs Deadshot. Can't remember why. Maybe Red Sun? These are things in this supposed leaked plot line about Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. This is what the internet was freaking out about. The guy who made this, and it got so much traction that everyone was hating on Rocksteady and hating on the game, then felt so bad he had a retraction published and said how much they had actually made up. Is there an audio line of Harley Quinn apparently shooting Batman? Yes. You can find it on the internet. Apparently that line exists. How do we get there? How is it handled? We don't know. That's the out of context stuff I'm talking about. That's the what is happening that I'm talking about. Now, my current theory on the game's plotline, and I haven't really said this outside of my Twitch streams, which I do over at twitch.tv/Comicstorian Gaming, with a current schedule of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, after our current streams that happen over at twitch.tv/Comicstorian, which is primarily podcasting. But if you want to see me gaming, it's at twitch.tv/Comicstorian Gaming. Anyway, my current theory is the multiverse. If you just opened up your first DC comic, let me explain that. Marvel's making a big deal out of their multiverse. Their multiverse has never mattered. It is pretty much non-existent. If they get a cool world like Age of Apocalypse or Old Man Logan, that pops up once in a while, but it's not a prevalent plot line in anything in Marvel other than Spider-Verse. But DC, if you're a Marvel fan, you don't know this about DC. DC's multiverse is like their entire thing. It's constantly being destroyed and then remade. It's used to have alternate timelines. It's used to have entire events like Convergence. The DC multiverse is a huge thing. The Arkhamverse exists in the DC multiverse. Okay? Arkhamverse is in Elseworlds. My theory is that this isn't true Arkhamverse. My theory has been that this is adjacent to Arkhamverse. Arkhamverse is here. Arkhamverse happened. The timeline right next to it is adjacent Arkhamverse. That's been my theory. And my theory is, even if we kill the entire Justice League, something's going to happen to bring them back. Or another version. Again, I reference Injustice. In Injustice, all your favorite big deal superheroes turned into villains. All of them. And how did we fix that? We brought in the other versions. We literally went into the multiverse and brought in Superman to fight Superman. That was how we won in Injustice. That, since the beginning, has been my theory. That this isn't going to be true Arkhamverse. It's going to be a universe adjacent to the Arkhamverse. And that in this universe, we're probably going to kill the Justice League. Also, why do you guys think if this is the true universe, they're all going to stay dead? The constant complaint in comic books is that superheroes don't stay dead. That death doesn't matter. You're all freaking out over the deaths of characters, but then your counterpoint is death doesn't matter. We already know for a fact, this is out there, this game is a live service. What does that mean, Benny? Because I've been living under a rock. It means the game never ends. It means that they are going to run this game for 6 months to 20 years if you keep playing it. Destiny is on like year 945. Okay? If the game succeeds, it's going to keep going. Referencing Avengers again, Avengers came out and then ran for 2 years. As bad as that game was, it ran for 2 years and had an expansion in which they brought characters from the multiverse to the game. Why do you all think the Justice League is going to die permanently? Why do you all think we're not going to get a multiversal version? It's a live service game. Why are you all hating this before it even comes out? Now, the article that I've referenced already does go a little bit deeper into what this guy supposedly data mined. Okay? To back up all of my argument as to what was going on during the time of all of this, I read through some of this stuff too, what he data mined, because now I'm curious what's actually going on. Bear in mind, this is off of another article and is the equivalent of reading the wiki of the story. So keep that in mind. Also, who knows what this guy made up? But according to his data mining, there's implications that no one in the Justice League truly dies. Okay? And a case in point, apparently at some point, we're going to kill the Green Lantern, but the Green Lantern's powers are still affecting the world, and the characters in-game question that. So it's not even like a gameplay element. It's apparently a thing that is questioned within the active universe. So again, why do you think they're going to stay dead? Anyway, he also apparently, I don't know how, because they only gave us the outfit, so I really doubt this was in here, but according to the article, he got voice lines from season 2 and 3. Seasons 2 and 3. The game is a live service. Anyway, and apparently in those voice lines, Flash and Green Lantern both come back. Is any of this true? I don't know. That's the point. Fang has been yelling in the background this whole time because she's like, why are they believing random stuff on the internet? The whole point of this video is the first leaks said one thing and you all freaked out. The second leaks contradicted the first leaks. And everyone still wants to find a reason to freak out. The first leaks said one thing, and you all freaked out and came up with crazy conspiracy theories that contradict what happened in the industry in the last 6 months. You then got more leaks that contradicted the first leaks. But then everyone's looking for reasons to hate on Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. We then, on the second leaks, have confirmation, supposedly, that none of the first leaks happened or are retroactively reverted. And thirdly, have you never read a comic? Why are you guys complaining that comics never change and superheroes never die? And then when they die, you're freaking out. You realize the irony, what's the hypocrisy of this? Comics never change, and when they do, you freak the flark out. Dan can censor that. It's whatever. It's my constant complaint in comics. They try something new, everyone hates it. They do the old stuff, everyone hates it. You're never happy. You, Brian. I don't even know a Brian. I'm just saying a name. Anyway, the point I'm making is, at the time of right now of making this video, December 28th, I don't know the plot to Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. You don't know the plot to Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. You think you do. I think I do. I got theories. You think you do, based on leaks and wiki article equivalents, but we don't. No one does. If a looter shooter featuring the Suicide Squad Killing the Justice League looks fun to you, then play it. And join me at twitch.tv/Comicstorian Gaming. And if it doesn't look fun to you, don't play it. If you feel this is going to ruin the Arkhamverse, don't play it. I've said since the beginning, speak with your money, not with your loud Twitter presence. If you don't want it and you don't want them to keep doing this stuff, you don't buy it. It's the end of the story, okay? If you don't play Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, as far as you're concerned, Arkham Knight is the end of the Arkhamverse. That's the end of it. Then you can play Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League and decide you don't like the story, and Arkham Knight is the end of the Arkhamverse. The writers for Arkham Knight and the writers for Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League aren't even the same guys. I looked it up on IMDb, so unless it gets updated later, it's different writers. And you know what else happened? The writers that made all the Arkham games are different writers. How many times do people already ignore Arkham Origins? Literally, WB does. It's not even in the pack. And how many times have I spoken to people that say, Arkham Origins, we don't count that? So why are we allowed to discount Arkham Origins as a part of our perfect Arkham trilogy, but they come out with Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League and you all want to freak out about it? And all of it is based on leaks and problems. I've pre-ordered the game. I pre-ordered the game when I first saw it. When Avengers was announced, I said, people are like, we don't want that. And I'm like, no, you don't want that. I want a 4-player co-op game to go play with my buddies with my favorite superheroes. And that's what that's what Suicide Squad is. That's what Suicide Squad That's what Suicide Squad is. It's about me and my buddies being Suicide Squad members. I think I've made my point, okay? I'm expecting to make a follow-up video on this very soon when we have more information, actual information. But as it stands right now, it looks like something that I'm going to enjoy. Story beat-wise, could be terrible. I'm not agreeing with those decisions. My argument is I want to see them in action. I want to see the context. I want to see what happens. That's for myself, not some data mined voice article thing that's been transposed into an article on the internet and then missing data. I don't want that. I want to see it happen. I'm not worried about spoilers, but I want to see it in action. I can tell you some of the best storylines to One Piece, and they just sound stupid and terrible. But if you read it or watch it, you're going to cry your eyes out. I'm just saying. Like, the context matters. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Follow us over on Twitter or X or whatever it's called, @Comicstorian. If you want to keep videos going on here on the channel, remember to join us over at Patreon and YouTube memberships for early access to our content. And you can also get, like, videos that aren't even released on the main channel, such as right now we're doing the entire Daredevil storyline conclusion to Chip Zdarsky, and very soon we're going to be doing Invincible, so if you want access to those, join us, and don't panic. They all eventually come out to the main channel, just when we need to fill gaps. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. I will see you next time right here, and don't forget, if you didn't hear it earlier, twitch.tv/Comicstorian Gaming.